Okay, so as everybody knows, I'm an aircraft mechanic by trade. And furthermore, if we're going to go through the bona fides like you have to in almost every video, because you can't expect everyone to watch all of your videos, um, I was trained by military veterans. Uh, and I took my tech course when I was 17 years old. It was a 6 week course in Borden, Ontario, which is the birthplace of the Canadian Air Force. My AVN tech. Uh, so I have been obsessed with aviation since a very young age. And this frogfoot here, you know, my father, in his absence and while he was on the road, would buy me model sets, plastic model sets to put together. And the frogfoot was one of my very first aircraft. And I grew up with Lego, Techno, and well, Technic, and Meccano, and not so much Connects. Connects was really, really expensive, but yeah, plastic model kits, and that probably explains a few things about my personality, along with sticking a fork in an electrical socket at a young age, because I hated London, and I didn't like how people treated me here. And people didn't seem to appreciate uh, me very much. And so the question was, besides that, besides my problems, and then also like basically a lifetime dedicated to aviation and art, which again is very much underappreciated because people don't understand art and they don't understand airplanes. They don't. They're not accessible. Art is not accessible to most people, and neither is aviation. Um, but as far as this is concerned, especially after I just did the Ukrainian special, um, you remember the Ghost of Kiev at the near the beginning of the war? That was the most visible hero, so to speak, and then propaganda against Russia. So the thing is that Russia has been prepared for a third world war for decades now. The amount of munitions that they have and equipment that they have is ridiculous. And because of the Russian mentality and their acknowledgement that, there's always more war, there's always going to be another conflict, war and peace. Tolstoy. And there was just a reveal of brand new bombers within Russia in a very nice factory. So what can I say? Drone warfare isn't going to replace the potency of munitions that aircraft can carry. And again, my position is that um, that it's a civil war, and quite frankly, that Westerners and NATO should not be involved. But what do I know, right? When I was on staff on Borden, one of the enlisted people that was, assigned to our company, two on the inside of his bottom lip. And to those that know what that is, you know what that is. And eventually, because of how war is, the soldiers will find a way around um, the air defenses. And an archer was recently hit by a drone. So this is where the illusion of security and superiority meets the reality of the meat grinder that is war. And it's this war is very different. It's a peer to near peer adversary. It's not like asymmetrical warfare in which we're bombing sheep herders into their mountain hidey holes and forcing them into Pakistan or into India. So as I show this, what I want you to understand as the viewer is that the potential for this conflict to boil over is very high. It's very high. And as it was with the Second World War, well, of course, I'll correlate the First World War because the First World War was a family squabble. The Second World War was justice for that family squabble. It was a rebalancing of the scales because of the royal families that were fighting each other in Europe because of the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and of course allegiances to allies. And if you're paying attention, it's trench warfare in the Ukraine right now. And the atrocities will only continue because of the amount of munitions that are available and the impersonal nature of drone warfare. And the amount of information as you're watching this with me, of first-hand video, excuse me, is I don't know how to describe it. Is a builds upon the war propaganda machine of the sandbox era.